If you're jumping into GTA Online this week, don't spend your money just yet. There are some surprisingly good deals available right now. A few completely free rewards you can grab just for logging in, and one property discount that could actually be worth considering if you're building up your businesses. But there's also a lot in this update that I honestly wouldn't waste my money on. So in this video, I'm going to go through everything that changed this week. The free stuff, the money bonuses, the best discounts, the Podium vehicle, the LS car meet prize ride, the Salvage Yard robberies, luxury autos, Simeon's dealership, the gun van, and, most importantly, what I think is actually worth your time. Let's start with the stuff you can get without spending anything. First up, simply logging into GTA Online this week gives you access to several free items. You can pick up the Sprunk and eCola bodysuits from any clothing store. There are also Sprunk and eCola vanity license plates available through your vehicle workshop. And then we've got a much more interesting freebie, the Classique hot ring Sabre. You can grab that straight from Southern San Andreas Super Autos, and if you want to complete the look, there's also a Sprunk and eCola livery available for it. So if you're the kind of player who likes collecting free vehicles, definitely don't skip that one. GTA Plus members also have access to the Gallivanter Baller? Actually, scratch that. The featured GTA Plus vehicle this week is the Gallivan Warden, the newer SUV. If you're subscribed to GTA Plus, that's another vehicle you can pick up as part of the membership benefits. For everyone else, the important part is simple. Log in, collect the free clothing, grab the plates, and take the hot ring Sabre. There's no reason to leave free stuff sitting on the table. Now let's get into the part most of you actually care about, making money. This week's weekly challenge is centered around business battles. Complete 3 business battles and you'll get the Impotent Rage sweatsuit along with the boosted weekly challenge payout. The challenge reward is sitting at 2.5 times the normal $100,000 payout, which puts it at $250,000. That's not going to make you a GTA millionaire overnight, but if you're already playing business battles, it's an easy bonus to pick up. And then we've got several activities receiving triple money and RP. We're talking about paper route delivery missions, firefighter jobs, forklift operator jobs, quickie farm deliveries, safeguard deliveries, and community series activities. So there's actually a decent amount of variety here. But the biggest multiplier this week is 4x GTA dollar and RP on hot ring circuit races. And that's not all. Free mode challenges are also paying 4x. Free mode events are also paying 4x. Now, here's where I'd personally be a little careful. A big multiplier doesn't automatically mean an activity suddenly becomes the best money-making method in GTA Online. Some of these activities are fun, some are decent if you want a change of pace, but if your only objective is making as much money as possible in the shortest amount of time, I wouldn't completely rebuild your grind around this week's bonuses. That said, if you enjoy these activities anyway, this is obviously the week to play them. And if you want to know which ones are actually worth grinding, that's something I'm going to break down separately. Now let's talk about the biggest property deal this week. The hands-on car wash is 40% off. And before you can purchase it, there's a small requirement you need to know about. You have to visit Martin Madrazo at the airport and trigger the cutscene. Once that happens, you'll be introduced to the car wash and you'll have the option to purchase it. You can buy it during that sequence or come back later and purchase it through Maze Bank foreclosures. And this is important because the car wash isn't just another random property sitting on the map. It acts as the starting point for the money front's businesses. Buying it gives you access to the money laundering related content and opens the door to the other businesses connected to that operation. The car wash also provides a 35% boost to counterfeit cash factory sales. Then there's the Higgins Helitours business, which gives you access to additional money laundering jobs and provides a 10% boost to Hangar sales. And finally, you've got the Smoke Shop, which provides a 35% boost to weed business sales. So if you're already invested in those businesses, this entire setup becomes much more interesting. Would I tell a brand new player to blindly buy every single business here? No. But if you've already got a decent empire running and you're looking for ways to stack bonuses across multiple businesses, this is definitely worth looking into. And at 40% off, the car wash is in a much better position than it would be at full price. All right, now let's get into the cars. And there are quite a few discounts this week, so I'm going to separate the ones I think are worth considering from the vehicles I'd personally skip. First up, the Overflawed Odd Arch is 30% off, bringing it down to around $1.37 million. It's a strong-looking supercar and a solid choice if you actually want something you'll enjoy driving. Then we've got the Progen GP1, also 30% off. This one drops to roughly $882,000. If you're a fan of the McLaren F1-inspired design, this is one of those cars that's worth having simply because of what it represents in the game. The Pegassi Osiris is another 30% off this week, sitting around $1.365 million. It's still a fun car to drive, with strong acceleration, good traction, and predictable handling. Then there's the Benefactor Sterling GT, also 30% off. And honestly, this is one of the more interesting discounts of the week. It's already a great-looking sports classic, and once you start getting into the customization and HSW performance upgrades, it becomes a much more serious machine. If you're into sports classics, this is one I'd put near the top of the list. Next up is the Obey Tailgater S, discounted by 30%. The price is around the high $700K range depending on the exact purchase setup. It's got good traction and predictable handling, but it's also a heavy car, so don't expect it to dominate everything in its class. Then we've got the Shih Tzu Hakuchu? No. The vehicle featured here is the Shih Tzu KE? Actually, the reference lineup lists the Shih Tzu K? Wait, the vehicle is the Shih Tzu K? For the clean version of this script, the important takeaway is the compact K-Truck featured this week. It's mainly a novelty purchase. If you want one because you like unusual vehicles, go for it. If you're buying strictly for performance, save your money. The Bravado Hot Ring Hellfire is also discounted. And then we've got the Vapid Click Wagon. Personally, I'd put both of those lower on my priority list. They're not bad simply because they're bad. They're just not where I'd spend my money if I had a limited budget. The Corinne Hotring Evron is another discounted option, and with the trade price, it can become significantly cheaper. Then, of course, we have the Classique Hot Ring Sabre, which isn't really a discount because it's completely free. So again, grab that first. The Mammoth Patriot Mil-Spec is also discounted. This one is much more interesting if you like heavily armored, off-road capable vehicles. It's big, it's durable, and the defensive upgrades give it a very different purpose compared with a normal SUV. Finally, there's the Nagasaki Weaponized Dinghy. It's over $1 million, and let's be honest, you don't need it. But if you've ever thought, I need a weaponized boat in my GTA garage, well, this is your moment. Now let's head over to the Diamond Casino, because this week's podium vehicle is the Pfister Astron, and I actually like this one. It's an SUV, but it has surprisingly good straight-line performance. It's stable, easy to control, and works nicely when you're just cruising around Los Santos or weaving through traffic. The biggest problem is the understeer. Once you start attacking tighter corners, the front end can feel like it has other plans. So if you're looking for something to dominate competitive races, there are better options. But as a general-purpose SUV, it's pretty solid. And the best part is obvious. You don't have to buy it. You can potentially win it for free by spinning the lucky wheel. So before you spend millions on another SUV this week, take the free spin. Maybe Los Santos finally decides to be nice to you. Next stop is the LS Car Meet, and the prize ride this week is the Enus Deity. To unlock it, you'll need to finish in the top 4 in LS Car Meet Series races for 3 consecutive days. And if you actually complete that challenge, you're getting a pretty useful vehicle for absolutely nothing. The Deity isn't just about looks. It's an armored sedan. It supports Amani tech, and you can equip it with defensive upgrades. It can also take a serious beating compared with a normal civilian car. You've got bullet-resistant windows, armor, missile lock-on jammer capability, remote control options, and other defensive upgrades depending on how you build it. And because it's a 4-door sedan, you also get the practical side of having multiple seats. Would I tell you to buy one at full price? Probably not my first choice. But when the game is literally giving you one for free, that's a completely different conversation. Do the challenge. Take the car. Put it in the garage. You can decide later whether you actually use it. Now let's check the Salvage Yard Robberies. There are 3 featured vehicles this week. The first is the Ubermacht Sentinel Classic, appearing in the Duggan Robbery. The second is the Vapid Caracara 4x4, featured in the Gangbanger Robbery. And the third is the True Fade Z-Type, which appears in the Podium Robbery. The Z-Type is the mid-range target this week, while the other 2 fall into the standard range category listed for the robberies. So if you're already running Salvage Yard content, definitely check which robbery is available before you start planning your session. Now we're moving over to luxury autos, and there are 2 vehicles on display this week. The first is the Benefactor LRC GT, shown with the Sprunk-themed customization. With the displayed customization, you're looking at roughly $2.68 million. Then we've got the Pfister Extreme, which was introduced with the Mansions update. The displayed customized version is just under $3 million. And this is one of those moments where I wouldn't buy something simply because it's sitting in luxury autos. Take a look at the car. Decide whether you actually want it. If you do, go for it. If not, keep the money. There will always be another expensive car waiting for your GTA bank account. Now let's check the gun van. If you're playing today, Thursday, August 13th, the gun van is located down in an alleyway around Murrieta Heights. The stock this week includes several interesting options. The battle rifle is 50% off for all players. The shocker baton is available again. The precision rifle is also in stock, although personally, I wouldn't rush out to buy it. The railgun is available as well. And this is one of those weapons that's still worth having if you don't already own it. Then you've got the Widowmaker and the Unholy Hellbringer. And here's a nice little detail. The Unholy Hellbringer is free for all players this week. So if you don't own it already, there's really no reason not to pick it up. And finally, there's the Up Atomizer. If you don't have one, I'd strongly consider getting it. It's one of those weapons that can be incredibly useful for situations where normal weapons just aren't the right tool. Before we finish, let's check the LS car meet test rides. The first one is the Pegassi Osiris. And honestly, this is a fun car. It's got strong acceleration, all-wheel drive, good traction, and solid braking. It's also stable enough that you can have a lot of fun with it without constantly fighting the car. Its top speed isn't enough to make it the king of modern supercars, but it's still a very enjoyable vehicle. Then we've got the Overflawed Autarch. This one is more focused on handling. The traction and downforce make it a strong choice on technical tracks, especially when you're dealing with a lot of corners. It's not necessarily the fastest thing in a straight line, but that's not really what this car is trying to do. And finally, we have the Vapid Click Wagon. It's a station wagon. It has decent customization potential and respectable durability, but the acceleration is slow and the high-speed handling isn't exactly confidence-inspiring. It's more of a fun collection car than something I'd recommend buying specifically for performance. And that's exactly why test rides are useful. Drive the car first. If you love it, buy it. If you don't, you just saved yourself hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now let's finish the vehicle section with Simeon's premium deluxe motorsport lineup. First up is the Obey Tailgater S. It's got good traction, predictable handling, and decent overall performance, although the weight does hold it back. Next is the small K-Truck. Again, this is more about the novelty factor than raw performance. Then we've got the Mammoth Patriot Mil-Spec. This thing is massive. It's heavy, durable, and built to survive situations where a normal vehicle would probably be destroyed. The off-road capability and defensive upgrades are where this one really makes sense. Then there's the Benefactor Sterling GT. This is probably my favorite vehicle in this particular dealership lineup. The customization alone makes it worth taking a closer look at, and the driving performance is already strong. Add the HSW upgrade and things get even more interesting. And finally, we've got the Progen GP1. It's a car with a lot of history behind the design, and it still delivers strong acceleration, braking, and cornering. If you're into classic supercar designs, this is definitely one I'd test drive before making a decision. So after going through the entire update, let's make this simple. If you're trying to spend your money intelligently, here's what I'd prioritize. First, take all the free rewards. There's literally no reason not to. Second, spin the lucky wheel. You might walk away with the Pfister Astron without spending $1. Third, do the LS Car Meet Prize Ride Challenge if you want the Enus Deity. Again, free is free. For vehicle purchases, I'd personally look closely at the Sterling GT, GP1, Osiris, and Autarch, depending on what type of cars you actually enjoy driving. For businesses, the hands-on car wash is much more interesting if you already own the connected businesses and can take advantage of the sales boosts. And for the weekly money bonuses, don't blindly chase the biggest multiplier. Try the activities. See which ones you actually enjoy. If something pays 4x but feels like torture after 10 minutes, you're probably better off going back to the money-making method you actually enjoy. Because making money in GTA Online shouldn't feel like you've clocked into a second job. And that's everything you need to know about this week's GTA Online update. We've got free rewards, multiple boosted activities, 4x free mode bonuses, discounted vehicles, a 40% property discount, a free prize ride, the Pfister Astron on the Podium, new Salvage Yard targets, fresh dealership stock, and a gun van lineup with some useful weapons. There are definitely some things worth grabbing this week. And there are also a few things I'd happily leave sitting in the store. If you want, I can also put together a full money-making guide for this week's bonuses and test which activities are actually worth grinding when you factor in time, payout, and effort. If this video helped you decide what to buy this week, drop a like. And if you're new here, subscribe because GTA Online changes every week, and I'll keep breaking down the updates so you don't have to waste your money figuring everything out yourself. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there in Los Santos, and I'll see you in the next one.